For centuries, the Orthodox ideal for Hindu women has been the pativrata, a model of serene domesticity, absolute purity, and unyielding devotion to her husband. It is a system built on maintaining order and staying clean. But residing in the historical texts is a pantheon of 10 supreme goddesses, known as the Mahavidyas. They deliberately break every single rule of that polite society. Where the Orthodox ideal demands domesticity and purity, the Mahavidyas demand to be worshipped in cremation grounds, with offerings of polluted fluids. Where the ideal demands subservience, these goddesses actively dominate, humiliate, and control their male counterparts. In a Tantric context, the term Mahavidya describes 10 great mantras, esoteric sequences of sound that function as psychological levers. They are built to bypass intellectual resistance and target the ego directly. Confronting the grotesque and the polluted serves as a calculated shock to the system. It is a mechanism intended to snap the mind out of its cultural conditioning and into the raw experience of cosmic truth. We see their algorithm in the origin myth. A catalyst of male neglect triggers an explosive transformation. The goddess becomes enraged, multiplying into 10 distinct forms. The result is total independence. By manifesting 10 versions of herself, she blocks every exit, trapping Shiva completely. This roster of 10 tools covers every extreme. We start with Kali, the black goddess who devours the ego, followed by Tara, the fierce guide through worldly troubles. Then we have Sodasi, representing the teenage spark of creation, paired with Bhuvaneshvari, whose physical body is the world itself. Next is Chinnamasta, who decapitates herself to feed the cosmos with her own blood, and Bhairavi, the bringer of fierce, blinding destruction. They are joined by Dhumavati, the unsmiling, hag-like widow of disease, and Bagalamukhi, the paralyzer of enemies. Finally, we meet Matangi, the outcast goddess who prefers polluted speech and menstrual blood, sitting alongside Kamala, the golden grantor of immense wealth. By mapping the entire spectrum of existence, from the golden height of wealth to the toothless decay of disease, the roster covers every possible corner of the human experience. Within this framework, the divine permeates all reality, leaving the ego no safe harbor where it can hide from the truth. Look at this traditional temple setting. Public worship is built on a clear hierarchy. Devotees act as humble servants, bringing polite offerings to royal deities. The Tantric worship of the Mahavidyas, known as the Samanya Puja, is an entirely secret, inward-facing process. It begins by drawing a sacred boundary, or yantra. Then comes the stage of symbolic dissolution. The practitioner must mentally burn their physical body, their societal identity, and their ego entirely to ash. In the recreation phase, the practitioner rebuilds the cosmos inside their own body, generating the universe from scratch using the goddess's specific seed syllables. This leads to the final identification phase, the radical realization of "I am this." The practitioner conceptually becomes the goddess. This process requires the active destruction of the self, replacing a limited human perspective with the infinite nature of the deity. Kali is the prototype. Her appearance is a deliberate code. Her garland of heads represents the alphabet, symbolizing mastery over reality. Her girdle of severed arms cuts devotees free from karmic debt. Standing on Shiva subverts patriarchal structures, showing female energy dominating male potential. Every terrifying element of her anatomy is engineered to systematically destroy the human obsession with form, safety, and physical boundaries. This destruction of boundaries is why these rituals take place in the samasana, the cremation ground. It is the ultimate testing laboratory where a practitioner's worldly attachments are literally burned to ash. This is the domain of the left-handed path, or Vamakara. It demands the Pankatattva ritual, requiring 5 forbidden items: wine, meat and fish, hallucinogens, and ritual sex. This practice utilizes sensory overload and social violation to break the mental loops that keep the ego in control. If a practitioner finds divine purity in a rotting corpse or polluted fluids, the ego's binary categories of pure versus impure are permanently destroyed. The Mahavidyas act as supreme spiritual technology. They force us to stare directly into the grotesque void, to snap the mind free from polite illusions, revealing a universe of absolute unified power.